So today we're looking at 6.5, which is dividing fractions and mixed numbers. So our student outcome for today is that I can divide two fractions or mixed numbers. So by the end of this lesson, you want to be able to say to yourself, well, I can divide two fractions and I can also divide two mixed numbers. Before we get started today, though, I want to do one quick review, and that's the term reciprocal, because we're going to look at that today throughout the lesson. Now, the reciprocal is essentially the opposite of the fraction. When I say that, I mean it's essentially flipping the numerator and the denominator. So down here you can see we had the fraction 1 over 2. Well, all it becomes is 2 over 1, the opposite of that fraction. The 2 on the denominator comes to the top, and the 1 as the numerator goes to the bottom to become 2 over 1. You can see again here we have our fraction 4 over 5. All that happens is the 4 comes to the bottom, and the 5 goes to the top to become 5 over 4. So keep that in mind as we're going through this lesson. So the first thing we're going to look at today is dividing proper fractions. And as you remember, proper fractions are when the numerator is greater than the denominator. So our question today is 7 over 8 divided by 1 over 4. So the first step to solve this, it says, is write the reciprocal of the second fraction, which is flipping the numerator and the denominator. So when we look at that, all we're doing is saying, okay, this 1 is going to come to the bottom, and this 4 is going to come to the top. So our new question is 7 over 8 divided by, and since the 4 goes to the top, 4 over 1. That's it. Now step 2 says we need to multiply across. So again, we've got our 7 over 8 divided by 4 over 1. However, this is now changing and it's becoming multiplying. So we're going to multiply straight across. So 7 times 4 is 28, and 8 times 1 is 8. Now we've got our answer, and we have one last step to go, and that step is converting it to lowest terms. So if we have our 28 over 8, we got to look at what can both of them be divided by. So when we look at it, we say, okay, you know what, they both can be divided by 4. 28 divided by 4, as we know, is 7, and 8 divided by 4 is 2. And there we've got our final answer of 7 over 2. So let's try an example. So let's give this one a shot here. We've got 3 over 4 divided by 1 over 3. So like usual, you can pause it here and then play it when you're ready for the solution. Okay, so according to step 1, to solve this question, we need to find the reciprocal of our second fraction, and all that means is we're flipping the numerator and the denominator, so that now equals 3 over 1. So our new question is now 3 over 4 divided by 3 over 1. Step 2 says to then multiply straight across. So this becomes multiplying, and we're going to multiply straight across, which gives us an answer of 9 over 4. And our last step says to convert to lowest terms. Well, 9 over 4 is already in lowest terms because we can't divide it any lower than that, so our answer is 9 over 4. Let's take a look at the next. We're going to look at this question, which is 2 over 9 divided by 5 over 6. And just like usual, you can pause it here if you like, and then hit play for the solution in a couple seconds. Okay, so for this one, same thing as last time. We're looking at our second fraction, and we're going to find the reciprocal. And all that means is taking that numerator to the bottom and taking that denominator to the top for a new question of 2 over 9 divided by 6 over 5. Step 2 says to multiply straight across, so we got 2 over 9, and we're going to multiply by 6 over 5. 2 times 6 equals 12, and 9 times 5 equals 45. Last step says to go into lowest terms. We can look at it and we say, okay, can this be divided by anything? Well, you know what? It can be divided by 3. So if we divide 12 by 3, we're going to get 4. And if we divide 45 by 3, we're going to get 15. And now we've got our answer in full lowest terms. Now we're going to look at mixed numbers. Now to divide mixed numbers, there's 5 steps. Our first step, it says, is to convert our mixed numbers into improper fractions, which, as you know from the previous lesson in 6.4, that means we're going to multiply our denominator by our whole number and then add our numerator. So if we're doing this one here, it means that we're going to multiply and add. So that means we're doing 2 times 2 plus 1, which gives us 5. And here we're doing 3 times 4 plus 3. So 4 times 3 plus 3, which gives us 15. Now we've got step 1 completed. Now for step 2, it says we need to put over our original denominator. Well, we're dealing with 5 here, which original denominator was 2. So this is going to become 5 over 2. And this one here, we've got 15, and its original denominator was 4. So we're going to write down 15 over 4. Now we've got our improper fractions. Step 3 says, write the reciprocal of the second fraction, which again, as we know from before, is flipping our denominator and our numerator. So 5 over 2 divided by, and this goes to the top, and that goes to the bottom. So it becomes 4 over 15. Now let's look at step 4. So step 4 says to multiply across. And just to make sure you guys remember, we have 5 over 2, and we've got 4 over 15. Multiplying straight across, we get 20, and 2 times 15 is 30, so we get 20 over 30. Last step is, like usual in all the different lessons in this unit, is to convert to lowest terms. So we have 20 over 30. If we divide both these numbers by 10, we're going to get an answer of 2 over 3, which is as low as it can go. So that is our final answer of 2 over 3. Now let's try an example. So we're going to look at 3 1/6 divided by 1 1/2. So you can pause here and hit play when you're ready to look at the solution. Okay, so step 1 says we need to multiply our denominator by the whole number and add the numerator, which is essentially converting this back into improper fractions. So we're going to go 6 times 3 plus 1, which gives us an answer of 19. And over here we got 2 times 1 plus 1, which is 3. Step 2 says to put back over our original denominator. So 19 is going to be over 6, and 3 is going to be over 2. Step 3 then says we need to find the reciprocal of our second fraction. So that means all we're doing is just flipping the 3 to the bottom and the 2 to the top. So our new question becomes 19 over 6 and 2 over 3. Step 4 says we just need to multiply across. So all we're doing is saying 19 times 2 and 6 times 3. Well, 19 times 2 is going to give us an answer of 38. And 6 times 3 will give us an answer of 18. If we follow step 5, it just has to convert to lowest terms. So if we want to here, we can go back and divide by 2. And we're going to get an answer of 19 over 9. And there you have it, our final answer. You know what? If you're feeling good now, you can stop the lesson, but if you want to try one more, we'll do one more example together. So this question is 1 3/4 divided by 2 1/2. So you can pause here and hit play when you're ready to go. So with this, the first step again is just to convert our mixed numbers back into improper fractions, and we do that by multiplying our denominator by our whole number and then adding our numerator, which is 4 times 1 plus 3, which is 7. And over here we have 2 times 2 plus 1, which is 5. Step 2 says we need to put our new numbers over our original denominator. So in this case, it's over 4. And for the 5, it's over 2. Step 3 then says we need to find the reciprocal of our second fraction, which is 5 over 2. So that means that the 5 is going to the bottom and the 2 is coming to the top. So now our new question is going to be 7 over 4, and we're going to have 2 over 5. Step 4 is we need to multiply across. So the 7 is going to multiply by the 2 to become 14, and the 4 multiplied by the 5 to become 20. Our last step just says to convert it into lowest terms, and all we can do for that is just let's divide it by 2. So our final answer is going to be 7 over 10. And there we go. So if you need to, I got some more videos listed below you can check out on the same concepts. And other than that, I'll see you tomorrow. We can work on the actual assignments.